Why is it that when some people talk, everyone stops to listen, while others keep on blabbering and go unnoticed? Slang culture has infused a lot of words in our day-to-day vocabulary, and it is the overuse of these phrases that is making us sound underconfident. Here is a list of such phrases that you must avoid saying in order to sound more confident. Number 1. Overuse of like. Have you observed this very strange pattern? We are like really good friends. He was like, "Can I have the last cookie?" And I was like, "Of course, man." It's been like 5 years since that happened. Whether you like it or hate it, I can safely say that there is an epidemic of the word like in recent times. We are all guilty of using this slang interjection, which was earlier used to cover a pause while someone is saying something, but now it has become a regular habit. Overuse of this filler truly weakens the impact of what you're saying and also adds an informal touch to any conversation. Many judges in debates and discussions also point out this problem in young orators. One effective way to avoid this is by actually speaking slowly in the very beginning and taking an actual pause whenever you feel like using this filler. Another great way is to start recording your conversations or even asking your family and friends to start correcting you whenever you tend to overuse this filler. Doing this will also make you notice some other unnecessary fillers that you're using while talking, say or you know, etc. Number 2, saying sorry without need. "Oh, I'm so sorry, honey, I didn't see you. I'm so sorry that I bumped into you. I'm terribly sorry that you had to wait for me." Saying sorry without need is a common problem, and studies reveal that this problem is more common in women due to years of patriarchy. Sorry to bother you. Sorry that I'm busy. Sorry I bumped into you. The list is endless. When you say sorry too much, not only do you undermine your own self-worth, but it may also come across as a sign of your anxiety and insecurity. It creates doubt in another person's mind and reduces their confidence in you. While apologizing to someone will never make you weak, a good alternative is to find replacement words and phrases that will let you apologize or even ask for permission without saying sorry too much. Such as, "Is this a good time for me to approach you? Please excuse me for my preoccupation. Forgive me or beg your pardon." Some other examples can be, "May I please? Would you be so kind as to?" etc. With a little bit of practice, you can avoid over apologizing and save this word for when you really need it. Some people say sorry only when they really want to, and at that point of time, it creates a lot of impact on the listener. Number 3, overusing just or saying "it's just that." "Hey, I would have come, but it's just that I am really busy." An analysis of various emails has revealed that while giving critical feedback or even bad news, people tend to soften their tone by using words like "just" or "it's just that." They do this with the hope that they won't sound harsh while saying that thing and would be able to offer a plausible explanation. The fact is that littering your conversation with "just" does not make you sound confident, but rather makes you appear as someone who is insecure and inferior. Someone who has to constantly offer justifications for their behavior. For example, "I just wanted to be nice. I just don't think you should do this. I just want to ask if you have finished your work." In all the above phrases, the word "just" has added a sense of weakness to the speaker's claim. Starting any sentence with "just" makes it sound like whatever you are saying needs to be apologized for. The literal meaning of the word "just" is "a short time ago," and we must use it with that reference. Say, "I just left 5 minutes ago." Number 4, "I think," "I feel," or "in my opinion." Whenever you're making an argument or a claim, it is already quite evident to the listener that you are communicating your own convictions and assurances with certainty, and there is no need for you to dilute that confidence with words like these. The use of phrases like "I think," "I feel," "I believe," or "in my opinion" also tell the listener that you are someone who cares too much about what others are thinking of you and want to clarify beforehand that the said argument should not be held against you, as you are scared that your views will not get accepted. To avoid this, you may use phrases like, "It is apparent to me, as I see it, to my knowledge, contemplation has made me realize, I have concluded that, based on the evidence it is clear," or any other affirmative phrase that you like to use. Number 5, kind of or sort of. Using weak words like kind of or sort of makes one sound hesitant and not sure of their claim. A confident speaker should definitely replace these words with more decisive ones like certainly, absolutely, affirmative, without a doubt, surely. If you really are not sure about what you are saying, then you can follow these words with phrases like certainly, except that, and then you can give your justification. But even this should be avoided. Using these replacement words help you establish yourself as someone who means business. Number 6, saying I don't know. Even though this is the most certain phrase in this list, its use must be avoided by powerful people and leaders, as it makes one sound unprepared, especially in a formal setting. While it is true that one can't know everything and hence will be in a situation where they are asked questions that they don't know the meaning of, but a good alternative to this would be using phrases like, "I'll find out for you. Let me get back to you on that. I may not be the best person to answer this. Why don't we hold this question till next time?" Or, "Here is what I know, and for anything beyond that, please give me some time." And so on. Blatantly refusing that you don't know something not only communicates your incompetency, but may also be mistaken as your arrogance. Number 7, literally or actually. Literally and actually are phrases that were originally meant to make someone sound more confident, but their overuse has made these two words absolutely meaningless. Instead of helping the speaker sound more confident, these words and their overuse make us appear as if we are trying to hide our real thoughts by taking the protection of these words and adding unnecessary evidence to our claim. I will not suggest replacement words for these phrases because anybody saying anything in a confident tone should be evidence enough of their own conviction and does not need the support of unnecessary overused words. Number 8, adding only to every sentence. For non-native English speakers, the use of the word only has become the norm. Most Indians I come across tend to use English sentences that are born out of translations, and this makes them add only in every sentence they say. For example, "I was only revising my lessons. It was a prank only. I landed yesterday only. He only told me." The overuse of this word sometimes even makes sentences grammatically incorrect, and even when it doesn't, it definitely looks like the speaker is overemphasizing its claim unnecessarily. To avoid this, non-native speakers have to consciously avoid the habit of overusing this word and have to claim whatever they have to say as it is. For example, when someone asks you, "Have you finished your work?" instead of saying, "I was doing that only," mention the specific work you're doing and give an affirmative answer. Say, "I am on it," or "Yes, that's exactly what I am doing at the moment." So that's it for today. Which of these words have you been using a lot lately? Or do you think there is any other word or phrase that I could have included in this list? Whatever your thoughts are, do mention it in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, as I will be coming up with a lot more videos that will help you refine your language. So until next time, take care.